Hey Kipsters, it's Mr. Carroll. Today I'm going to show you a few videos that talk about ways to create a garden and what you can do in your backyard. This is an urban garden, so we're going to talk about some of the tools, some of the plants, and just some of the upkeep that you can do to plant a garden within the city. So what I did is I looked at my collection of tools. What I did is look at the specific tools that you would need in order to start a small garden, right? The bigger your garden, the more produce you create, the larger the garden will be and the more tools you'll need. So what I did is look at the basic essential tools that you'll need. First and foremost is what we call a garden fork, right? Or a garden rake. Looks like this. A little handheld rake. It's used to scrape away the soil, irrigate the soil, create nice amount of oxygen throughout the soil, because that's one thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your soil has tons of oxygen. Another basic tool is what we call a trowel or a spade shovel. You'll notice that if I cover up the handle, it looks like a spade. If you look at the deck of cards, you'll notice that it's in the shape of a spade. It goes by many different names, but this is basically a nice little hand shovel, right? It creates the space you need to plant your herbs and your plants inside the soil. Another tool is some pruning shears. You can get all different kinds, but basically they have the same use, and that's just cutting off the dead leaves, cutting off your produce, so when the plant comes to starts a fruit, nut, those kind of things, you can clip it right off the stem. Always go with gloves. Now you won't see me use gloves today, but typically your professionals will use some sort of glove, right? So anything with a rubber fingertip, rubber sole, or not sole, but pad will do the job. Anything that is waterproof, things like that. Also, you'll want some sort of watering device. Now, for this video, I'm going to just rely on our watering can. A lot of you can use a simple garden hose, a garden wand, but something that you can fill up with water to water your plants. If you're like me, your garden's a little bit farther away from your house, so you fill this up with water and you transport it back to your garden. Another item that I use personally is what we call 7. Now, it is a non-toxic substance that you can put on your plants. Well, non-toxic, depending on what you classify as toxic or non-toxic, but what you do is you put this on your plants and it prevents insects from eating your vegetation. You just basically spray it on your plant. It comes in the form of like a powder, and basically just prevents any ants or anything like that from eating the leaves. And the last tool, which we'll talk about in the final video, is what I like to call a claw. Now, this is only something you need if you have like a compost barrel or something that you turn up a lot of rotten vegetation. So I'll get kind of close with it. You can see the fingertips have a plastic little finger claw kind of thing, and I'll show you what this does later. But those are basic tools that you'll need in order to get your garden up and running. Stay tuned.